मांशु, अभी तो बहुत कम लोगों ने ज्वाइन किया है. जस्ट वेट फॉर 5 more minutes.
Okay, sir. Sir, 280, 294, 296 joined. Sir, 296.
296. Okay. Just wait for 5 minutes.
Okay, sir.
भाऊ निकाला उच्चर भाऊ.
So we are starting this training cum capacity building workshop in few minutes. We are waiting some more participants to join. I request all the participants to please keep your mics on mute. At the end of this session, we will ask queries from all the participants. You can also write down your queries on the mailbox or the chat box. And meanwhile, I request all of you to please keep your mic on mute. Once again, I welcome you all in this training cum capacity building session for Garbage Free City Protocols 2022. With me in this training session, with me is Shri Vinay Kumar Jhaji. He is Director Swachh Bharat Mission. We also have Shri J.B. Ravinderji. He is Joint Advisor CPHO. And today we have states of Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala, Telangana, and Puducherry for this workshop. So this is basically to give you the brief of all the changes we have made in the new protocol of Garbage Free City. And we will start with some analysis of your states, respective states, in the last participation of GFC. So before starting, I would like to request Shri Vinay Jha sir to allow us and say some inaugural remarks for this training session.
हिमांशु स्टार्ट करें हम?
हाँ sir, sir now 450 participants are here sir.
हाँ, चलो स्टार्ट करो.
So yes sir, so today sir, again we have a same session sir. We have participant states of Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala, Telangana and Pondicherry sir. And we will start with the last year's analysis of GFC. How many cities have participated in these respective states? What were the challenges? What were the results for DA and what were the result of field assessment? And then we will take through the entire GFC protocol, renewed GFC protocols.
ठीक है, okay. Thank you, Himanshu. Before we start, first of all, I welcome all the participants of Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka, and Pondicherry. This is a very important session for all of you because Garbage Free City, as you must be aware that Garbage Free City is the new target that has been given to us in Swachh Bharat Mission 2. Earlier it used to be a ODF. Now it is all our ULB has to be garbage free city. So for this year, I think we had a very less participation from the southern state. But just to inform all of you that this is one of the important certification. Unless until you will not do well in this certification, your ranking in Swachh Sarvekshan will not improve. So to improve your ranking in Swachh Sarvekshan, you need to participate in this. Today, our team will be taking you to all the what kind of changes we have incorporated in the GFC protocol. This protocol is very simplistic now, very simple. Anyone can understand. So, and also, we are making this GFC mandatory for all cities to participate. So from Mahua, from the Swachh Bharat Mission, we want that you please go through this GFC certification module, just training very seriously. And any question, any kind of question, our team is there to answer all of your query. I wish all the success. Himanshu, now you can start. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. So we will start this session with some analysis we have carried out with our partners IQA on the last year's participation and the analysis of desktop assessment, analysis of field assessment. So I request Amit Sharaf ji to please present the analysis of these 6 states. Thank you, Amit. I request others to please mute your mics, please. Amit, you are not audible. If any issues, I can present my screen and you can demonstrate that. Rimsha, are you there?
Yes, yes, Dr.
There is some lag, I think, from Amit's side, Rimsha.
Yeah, I'll just check it. Just give me a moment. So I think, Himanshu, you can present your screen and we'll just quickly brief about the GFC 2021 analysis, and then we can state how can the state log in and see their GFC analysis.
Sure, sure. Thank you.
Sure. Dr. Himanshu, can you share the screen?
మనలో ఏమన్నా కనిపిస్తున్నారా? వచ్చి ఎంతమంది ఉన్నారు?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So, this is a brief analysis of the GFC 2021. So, these are the 6 states where we are having today the capacity building session for the GFC Protocol 2022. So, before starting, this is just a brief overview of how the states had fared in GFC 2021. So, as you can see, from Andhra Pradesh, a total of 110 cities, right, where 7 cities were certified with 1, 3, and 5 star. Am I audible to everyone? Dr. Himanshu, can you confirm once if I'm audible to everyone?
Yeah, Rimsha, you are audible.
Thank you. Thank you. So,
And I request others, so please mute your mics, please.
please mute your mic if you want to interact and show, but please mute your mic so that we can start with the session. So, we had from Karnataka, 9 cities had participated, where 3 cities were certified. Tamil Nadu, 129 cities had applied, but they could not convert it into any star. And Telangana, out of 139 cities which had applied, 4 cities were awarded stars. And Kerala and Puducherry, no cities had applied. So if we look up at the participation, we find that it was 100% from the state of Andhra Pradesh. It was 10% from the state of Karnataka, 19% from the state of Tamil Nadu, and 99% from the state of Telangana.
తమిళనాడులో 640 మున్సిపాలిటీస్ ఉన్నాయంట. అమ్మో. 5 times మనకంటే.
So similarly, we had DA pass percentage, the desktop assessment percentage also for different states. The highest was recorded for the state of Andhra Pradesh, where 99% of the ULBs had qualified for the desktop assessment. However, post the field assessment, the overall conversion rate was only 6%. So moving forth, yeah, we can move to the next slide, Dr. Himanshu. Yeah. So, giving you a quick overview for the state of Andhra Pradesh, 110 ULBs applied, 100% participation from the state. 3 cities awarded 1 star, and other 3 were awarded 3 star, and there was 1 city which was awarded 5 star as well. So all of these details, they are available on the dashboard as well, which is available for all the states to view in the state login. And this is also a quick analysis of where all there was only 1 ULB which had failed in the desktop assessment. And these are the indicators where we could not find the proper documentations like CND management, cleanliness, sweeping parameters, garbage collection and segregation, and scientific waste processing. Similarly, we have also analyzed for the state of Andhra Pradesh that where all the ULBs had failed during the field assessment, they have failed majorly in CND waste management. We could not find a proper plant at the location. The scientific waste processing, dump site remediation was not in place. For a very few percentage, we have also found out that the sweeping parameters were not in place. There were some garbage vulnerable points which were found out. So this is just a brief overview. The states, they can log into their to the admin.sdmurban.org, and there they can view all of these analysis in order to improve their next year rankings. Can we move to the next slide, please?
पोर्टल में है GFC इसका है पोर्टल में.
So this is also a quick analysis of Tamil Nadu, where a
Don't
total
worry,
of
it's a bully now.
129 cities had applied, out of which 12 cities had
हाँ
passed
हाँ
in
बता तुम्हारा
desktop
फेल हुआ तो मेरे को
assessment,
बोलता नहीं
and
जब खाना खत्म है फिर तुम्हारा
cities were awarded any star. So moving forth,
एक फेल हुआ तो फेल असेसमेंट में
this is
फेल हुआ
also analysis of what went wrong with the different ULBs. Where can they improve? Maybe in the documentation part, because a lot of ULBs they failed in the desktop assessment. They need, improvements in terms of the document verification process for CND waste management, for sweeping, for garbage collection and segregation, for implementation mechanism of penalties and spot fines. So this is where they have failed. And similarly, a quick analysis is also there for the reasons why the cities had failed in the field assessment, in which all parameters. Maybe at the site location, the dump site remediation was not in place, a proper CND waste management facility was not in place. So because of that, there are some indicators where the cities can improve their ranking for the next year. Next slide, please. Then again we come to Telangana. 139 applications from the state. 4 cities certified stars, out of which 1 city was awarded a 3-star, and 3 cities were awarded 1 star. Then we also have an overview of a brief comparison of 2020 and 2021. Then again, we come to the desktop assessment reason for failure and the field assessment reason for failure. So all of these things are available on the dashboard, which you can access through the state login. Next slide, please. So this is also similarly we have briefed out here for the state of Karnataka, where out of 20 ULBs, 3 ULBs have been awarded stars, out of which 1 city has got a 5-star and 2 cities have been awarded 3-star. And a brief overview of what all the stars they had applied for versus what all star they have been awarded. And division wise also we have a breakup of the stars, so you can also compare your cities based on which division has fared well and which division can be improved further. Next slide, please. And again, we have the desktop assessment and the field assessment analysis for you, where you can analyze what went wrong and how you can improve for the next year. Next slide, please. So please go for the GFC dashboard, which is available at the state login now, and you can have a quick analysis. You can also analyze division wise for better improvement in the GFC 2022. Thank you so much. Over to you, Dr. Himan.
Thank you, Rimsha. So I would like quickly add one point here that you have seen that the participation from the state of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana is almost 100% is in the last year's UFC certification, while Karnataka lagging behind in Kerala and Pondicherry, they have not participated because till the last time this certification was voluntary in nature. So the major change we have carried out to GFC certification from this year onwards, it's a mandatory participation for all the ULBs. So this point I would like to add here. We'll discuss in detail other changes. So I will start the GFC protocol toolkit now, and this will cover the new indicators, the new planning, the new structure of GFC for all the ULBs to please understand. We are ready to answer your queries at the end of this session. So these are the some important dates. I believe I'm audible to all.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So these are the important dates for the GFC 20222. The toolkit was launched by the Secretary, Ministry of Housing and Affairs on 24th of December. So we have started dissemination of toolkits with states and UTs and ULBs. We have started yesterday only on 28th. The start of GFC applications
15th January
will
చూస్తున్నారా అవునా కొంచెం
the start of GFC application process for phase 1 will start from 15th of January and the closure of GFC application process for phase 1 will be on 15th of Feb.
మాట్లాడుతున్నాను చెప్పు మెంబర్స్ వాళ్ళ పద్నాలుగు మాట్లాడతారు ఏంటి కొత్త పద్నాలుగు
చెప్పాను చెక్ చేసి చెప్తాను పైన ఉన్నారా
So the garbage-free city, this actually ensures the holistic evaluation of solid waste management chain across the entire waste management chain. So this includes door-to-door collection of waste, source segregation of waste. So source segregation starts from dry and wet waste, then it's go beyond the dry and wet categories to sanitary and domestic hazardous waste. Then sweeping of public and commercial places, including the residential waste bins, litter bins. We've also introduced the scientific waste processing for wet, dry, and domestic hazardous waste. The scientific landfilling of inert and processing rejects, then C&D waste management. One of the important component this time is dump site remediation, compliance from the bulk waste generator, then user charge, notification and collection, enforcement on the ban of plastic, the sale of waste byproduct. This is an important aspect which we have added in this year's protocol. Then geo mapping, digital monitoring, citizen grievance redressal, waste reduction through on-site processing, cleaning of storm water drains, water bodies, and screening of nalas, city beautification, IEC, and capacity building. So these are the major, you can say, subsections of this protocol, where few we have added this time. So what we have changed this time? So old versus modified protocol here. So voluntary participation of ULBs, which I have discussed earlier as well. So till time for last GFC and before that, the participation of ULBs is voluntary in this certification. But this year onwards, it will be the mandatory participation for all the ULBs. I would like to add here that there are grants from Swachh Bharat Mission, 15th Finance Commission, other grants which are tied with getting this star rating for all the ULBs. So within next 1 year, all the ULBs need to be 1 star rated, and by the end of this mission, that is by 2026, all the ULBs need to be 3-star certified in GFC protocol to avail all the benefits of central financial assistance and all. So this mandatory participation is one of the most important aspect of this protocol. Then earlier we have 25 components which were divided into mandatory, essential, and desirable categories. This year we have reduced it to 24 components, and again we have divided these 24 components into two subsections. That is important. Important means that whatever the requirement of 1-star and 3-star certification, this includes 16 components here, and the aspirational indicators, which we have added 8 more components in this list. So those are basically for 5 and 7-star aspirational cities. Earlier we had a 3-step calculation. Now that has been reduced to only single-step calculation. The separate weightage assigned for critical component this year the inbuilt alignment with SBM 2.0 objective, that is source segregation, processing, dump site delimitation, etc. Geomapping of cities and facilities not considered separately. This time we have considered them as a component in the protocol. As we all know that this year's onward, this mission as well as this protocol will be paperless. So most of the application will be digital here. We have made the system simpler to for the ease of application from all the ULBs. So then progress to be digitally monitored by ULBs and linked with Swachh Bharat Mission portal for 5 and 7 star in alignment of NUDM. No separate component to strengthen SWM ecosystem for the last year's time, but this year we have introduced new component like IEC and capacity building, geo mapping, sale of waste byproduct, digital monitoring of SWM operations. Apart from that, we have already added SSR to be centralized monitored by ministry this time. So this assessment mechanism has not changed yet. That there is a self-assessment. City has to fulfill the necessary condition for star rating and will have to carry out self-assessment as per the methodology of this protocol. Then declaration of star rating, the ULB may follow prescribed step to self-declare the star rating of the city. For all the star rating requests to be communicated to MAHUA through the state government, that is your state mission director will send the request received from the ULBs for the particular star rating they are applying for. Then the third party certification. The MAHUA will take up the independent verification validation agency. Third party agency will certify the city's rating, and then this certificate will be provided by MAHUA. There are some you can say the preconditions that for 1 star, if any ULBs is applying for the single 1 star, then they must be ODF. For 3 star, ODF plus is prerequisite. For ODF plus plus, if you're going for 5 star, you must have ODF plus plus certification. And if you're going for 7 star certification, you must have water plus certification. The star rating process flow for ULBs is as common. This is the same we have last year, that the fill common city profile on MIS, the fill MIS on SBM urban portal, the check for self-assessment score on the SBM urban portal. Then whatever with respect to the score you got, the apply for star rating as per eligibility of SBM urban portal, upload documents and declarations. Then there is a third party verification. This verification is of 2 parts actually, desktop assessment and field assessment. The field assessment will again consist of 2 major portions, that is citizen validation and independent observation. Then whatever the third party will verify, they will give the recommendation to MAHUA, and then the MAHUA will provide you the final star rating. This star rating will be valid for the period of 1 year. So again, this is a third party assessment example. Suppose one city has applied for 7 star. If it is cleared, then it's okay. Otherwise, if it is failed in DA, then within a month they can reapply. If it is cleared and failed in field assessment, then it will take 6 months to again they have to apply. Or if any city has applied for 7 star or 5 star and they are not meeting the condition of that particular star, so for the lower star their application will be considered. If they further not satisfying the conditions of the lower star, suppose somebody has applied for 5 star, they failed in 5 star, but so this agency will evaluate them for the 3 star. If they are qualifying for 3 star, they will get 3 star. Otherwise, if they are not qualifying 3 star, they will be evaluated against the conditions of 1 star. So then they will get the 1 star rating. So again, there are some conditions for this with respect to the protocol. The TPA failure, third party assessment failure. In case the city fails third party assessment for the applied star, it will be validated and certified for a lower star that I've already discussed. Cooling off period again for DA it is 1 month, and for field assessment it is 6 months. For reapplication, suppose you have applied for, you got, because this is a continuous process. So if when ULB has certified for 3-star and they want to be 5-star city, so they can apply after 3 months of time for higher star. So then this is the new scoring methodology, principle and features. So now onward we'll talk about what is the new in this protocol. So important thing is this, again, earlier there were 3 categories, now we have 2 categories divided into important. That is for 1 and 3-star, you need to qualify, you need to assess yourself for 16 components. And for the aspirational parameter, those are 8 parameters, you need to assess yourself for 8 additional parameters for 5 and 7-star rating. So the numbers, how we have changed this matrix. So for 1-star, you need to get 2400 marks out of 5200 marks. For 3-star, you need to get 3600 marks out of 5200 marks. For 5-star, that then again the 16 component, the addition of the 16 components is 5200, while the addition of all 24 components is 7500. So for 5-star rating, you need to get 6300 marks out of 7500 marks, and for 7-star you need to get 7500 out of 7500. But there is a important thing here, that although we are asking for 100% marks, but the parameters, the benchmark we have set in the indicators, those are not, you need not to achieve 100% in all the parameters. So we have given you some relaxation in the indicators as well. And we already discussed that the for 1-star city must be ODF, for 3-star ODF plus, for 5-star ODF plus plus, and for 7-star city must be water plus. So these are the different parameters which we have changed this year. So on my screen are 16 parameters which we have indicated as important indicators. We have mentioned as important indicators. So these indicators are basically for, although they are applicable for all the 4 labels, or you can say all the 4 stars, but these are mandatory for 1 and 3-star cities. So in these 16 parameters, you can see that 4 parameters or indicators are ward level, which are door-to-door collection, source segregation, sweeping and litter bins, and secondary storage, processing by bulk waste generator. So these 4 are basically ward level indicators, and rest 12 are city level indicators. And at the end of the row is you can see the scores. For 1-star, the level 1 is actually 1-star. You have to achieve 2400, and respectively you have to increase your score for getting higher star rating. These are the aspirational parameters required only for 5 and 7-star cities. So in this, the 2 component, that is geo mapping of wards and city beautification, these 2 are the ward level indicators, while other 6 are city level indicators. And here for level 3 and level 4, so level 3 and 4 are equivalent to 5-star and 7-star rating. You have to obtain 6300 and 7500 marks respectively to get the 5 and 7-star rating. Now the scoring matrix, this is again revised. For 1-star, the maximum score is 5200. You have to achieve 2400 marks to get the star, that we have already discussed it. Now, how the mark will play in Swachh Sarvekshan? What is the corresponding score of these marks in Swachh Sarvekshan? So for 1-star rated cities, your marks will be equivalent to 400 in Swachh Sarvekshan. For 3-star, the 3600 marks you have received will be equivalent to corresponding score of 600 marks in Swachh Sarvekshan. You will be obtaining 5-star rating. The marks allocated against this Swachh Sarvekshan will be 1050, and for 7-star cities the marks will be 1250, equivalent to the corresponding score of Swachh Sarvekshan. So this is the protocol of self-declaration by the city. The preconditions should be mandatory you have to pre-qualify in these conditions. Then self-declaration from citizen categories. So we have mentioned citizen categories last time, that what are the citizen categories you must have, and this the detail guideline, the detail toolkit is available on SBM portal. And then after the citizen categories, you have to declaration to be obtained from all ward members of the city and town. Then city council may then pass a preliminary resolution that yes, my city is going to participate in this certification. Then suitable public announcement so that all the citizens must aware that the city is going for this certification, because at the time of citizen validation, these questions can be asked from the residents of the city that are you aware that your city is participating in such and such event. So this suitable public announcement is required, and then public objection and feedback may be invited within 15 days. After that, the state government, the ULB will inform the respective state or the directorate of the state government. Then there will be a formal application from state government to Mahua, communicating the self-declaration of Start City, and then for the request for third-party certification or process. So this is again we have discussed here. Protocol of third party. Upon request of Mahua, third party appointed by Mahua will mobilize assessor to conduct the verification. Then for the verification, the third party agency will assess service level status and as well as conduct independent validation. Based on the assessment of third party agency, will make recommendation to Mahua for cities to be rated as per star rating protocol. The Mahua will subsequently issue the relevant star rating to the city on the basis of the recommendation of third party. The star rating certificate will be given to the city, and this will be applicable for 12 months. This again, what are the service level status that, and what is the independent validation like? So preliminary data will be collected in advance by a process of self-assessment. The city will fill the Mahua common city profile at MIS. Third-party assessor will visit cities to validate the same claim. Then collection of data will be based on the physical observation of household, residential, commercial places by the third-party assessor. Whatever you have filled in MIS, the same data will be validated through different channels and different categories. The assessor will use IT-enabled devices to record their observations and finding along with photographs, so that there should not be any confusion while at the time of evaluation. And the third party will systematically collect photos as evidence of field observation. And those again will be tagged with date, time, and location. So what is a desktop assessment? We have already discussed it, that a few cities have failed in desktop assessment, while few cities lagging behind in field assessment. So desktop assessment will verify wards, the percentage of door-to-door collection, source segregation, number of litter bins, number of storage bins, waste processing facilities, their processing capacities, their daily processing, dump site remediation, the number of the scientific landfill if you have, screening of nalas, on-site wet processing, CND waste. So CND waste we'll discuss in detail, that we have divided this CND waste into 4 categories in this new protocol. Then for field assessment, citizen validation is one of the important aspect, as well as the independent observation. So these are the digital forms actually. Declaration forms are there. Earlier you have filled these forms in the on the papers, but this time, because we want our mission to be paperless, so these declaration forms will be available digitally on the MIS portal. The portal will get ready by 15th of January. So these forms, all these 4 forms actually, which we have filled manually or on the papers, these forms will be available on the portal, and you have to fill these forms digitally. Now there is one confusion, is a long time issue pertaining to the commercial area versus mixed area. So we have the divided this into the population category. We have referred this to the population category, and the number of shops that convert your mixed or commercial area will define this. So the population category is if up to 25,000, then you have a number of shops 10 in the particular area, so that will come under the commercial area. You can say the commercial mix area. Then between 25,000 to 50,000, the number of shops available there will be 20, then it will come into the commercial area. And above 3 lakhs, if the number of shops are more than 100, then it will automatically come into the commercial area or mixed area category. So now we'll start the discussion on component. So for door to door, this is our first component, and it's a part of the important indicator. So the condition is for level 1, which is you can say the level 1 is 1 star, level 2 is 3 star. So till the 16 number components, these 2 star for 1 and 3, the 2 levels are most important and critical. And for level 3 and 4, that is 5 and 7 star, you need to obtain the scoring in all the 24 components. So for level 1 in the door-to-door collection, you must have 50% door-to-door collection in all the walls. And for level 2, you need to have 70% door-to-door collection in all the wards. For 5 star, you need to have 90%, and for 7 star cities, you need to have 100% door-to-door collection. For source segregation, this is again a ward level parameter. So for source segregation, for 1 star cities, if you're applying for a 1 star, you have a source segregation of at least 40%, in which we have excluded the segregated collection of sanitary waste and domestic hazardous waste. So we have segregated this sanitary and hazardous waste component for the ease of applying new cities to come up for the certification. However, if cities are ready to do the segregation in these 2 sections as well, they are most welcome. For 3 star application, that ward level ward must have 60% source segregation, and this includes the sanitary waste segregation separately. For 5 star, they should have 80%, and for 7 star, they must have 90% segregation, including segregation of wet, dry, sanitary, and hazardous domestic waste. So for component 3, we have added 3 components within this indicator. One is the sweeping of residential, public and commercial area. One is the litter bins, and one is a secondary storage bins. So the percentage wise we will discuss. Then the fixed twin bins should be, or the segregated litter bins should be available in commercial and public places at every 50 and 100 meters as per CPHO norms, and the waste storage bins are placed in a strategic location across the city. So these are the conditions, and this is the marking system for this. So for sweeping, 1 star cities must do 100% public and commercial area sweeping on the daily basis. For 3 star, 100% public, commercial, and residential. So we have added residential area sweeping on the daily basis. For 5 star, the 100% will remain 100%, but we have added here the public commercial area twice and the residential area once. And that NCAP city, the cities having population more than 5 lakhs, they must have mechanized sweeping with for the 4-lane roads having median. For 7-star cities, all the level 3 are there, and you have to clean your backlines. So what backlines is basically the commercial and residential areas are clean. Backlines of commercial and residential area, no water logging, drainage system not choked, no solid waste floating, and was properly maintained. So this is for the 7-star cities, and this is for the back lanes of our commercial and residential area. So for litter bins, at least 40%. For level 1, for level 2, they must have at least 60%. For level 3, they must have at least 80%. And litter bins should have covered. So they must have covered litter bins. And for 7-star, they must have 90% litter bins will cover, having a lid. And for secondary storage bins, for level 1, so this is for commercial areas basically. So you must have at least 80% of storage. For level 2, you have 100% of storage. For level 3 and level 4, there should not have any storage bins, because your collection system should be efficient to collect 100% of the waste at the time of generation only. For bulk waste generators, for level 1, all the bulk waste generators as defined in solid waste management tool, that is the gated entry or the institution or the community which is producing more than 100 kg of waste per day comes under the category of bulk waste generator. So for level 1, you should have defined and identified all the including all the RWAs and issued official notice for compliance. So for level 2, compliance by all commercial BWG as defined in solid waste management tools. For level 3, compliance by all BFG as defined, including RWAs. So for level 3, you have to include RWAs as well. For level 4, compliance as per level 3, and separate guidelines to ensure reduction of waste by BWG, such as community hall functions, marriages hall, and public gathering, etc. Now, the fifth component is CND waste collection facility. So, as we move forward in this category, so CND waste we have covered at four times in this entire indicators. One is a collection, then one is a storage, then one is a processing, and the last one for the aspirational cities is a sale of the byproducts of CND waste. So again, the bulk waste here, again, the non-bulk and bulk waste generator, there are two categories. So non-bulk you all are aware, and the bulk waste generator is whosoever is producing more than 20 tons of waste per day or cumulative 300 tons per month, they will be considered as bulk waste generator. So yesterday we had this a discussion with, so some ULBs have some clarifications. If you go on the note side, that for less than 1 lakh population cities, so we requested that at least one collection point for every 25,000 population. That is a city having population of around 1 lakh, they have around 4 collection points. But this is a one condition. If you have a robust mobile collections unit, the same can be relaxed up to 50%. Suppose you have a mobile unit, you have a facility which is available on call, then you can only have 2 collection points in a city with a population of around 1 lakh. In the same lines, one collection point for every 1 lakh population, wherein the city is having more than 1 lakh population. However, in case of, again, the same robust mobile collection system, the same can be relaxed up to 100%. So our aim is not to set up the collection facility in the entire city. Our aim is to collect the waste properly from each and every waste generator. So if you have a good on-call basis facility, these numbers can be reduced as per your will. So for CND waste collection facilities, for level 1, you have to, this facility should be available for non-bulk waste generators in 20% of the ward. For level 2, that is 3-star, this facility should be available in 40% of the total wards. For 5-star rating aspiring cities, it should be available for 80% of the total wards. And for level 4, that is 7-star cities, it should have at least coverage of 90% of the total wards. For wet waste processing and capacity, so here we again have two conditions in this. Wet waste, that for level 1, you must have a 50% processing of the total waste generated. I will again highlight this point that now this processing facility is considered against the total generation of waste. Earlier it was against the total collection of waste. So at least 50% of the total generated waste should be processed, and you must have a processing capacity of 60%. That means if some city is producing 50 tons of waste, they must process 25 tons of waste, and they have at least 30 tons of processing capacity per day. So for same condition, for level 2, you must have 70% processing and 80% processing capacity. For level 3, you must have 90% processing. For level 4, you must have 100% processing and 100% processing capacity as well. For dry waste, the same applies as well. That for level 1, the total capacity you need is 60%, and while you need to process at least 50% of total generated waste. For level 2, the processing is required at 70%, and you must have a processing capacity of 80%. Apart from this, the city is having population more than 10 lakh must have a recyclables. Whatever waste you are processing, whatever dry waste you have processed, the 25% dry waste should be as a recyclables. For population less than 10 lakh, it is 15% of the dry waste process. For level 3, the processing requirement is 90%, while the capacity requirement is 100% for level 3 and level 4. For dry waste processing at level 4, it is 95%, while the count for recyclables will increase in every level. So for level 3, it is 30%, and level 4, it is 40% for more than 10 lakh cities, while less than 10 lakh cities is 20% and 30% respectively. Now we come to dump site remediation. We all are chasing it very very rigorously. Actually, I can say that this is one of the important aspect of our garbage free cities, and as per solid waste management rule 2016, we should have done this by 31st March 2021. But most of the cities are lagging behind in the dump site remediation. So we are again giving them uh, we are conducting from MOHUA, we are conducting different training sessions for how to fill the online action plan on the MOHUA portal. So we have considered this here as well, that for level 1 city, that is aspiring city for 1-star, you must have filled your dump site remediation action plan, that is module 2 of Swachh Bharat Mission guidelines, operational guidelines. You must have filled that, submitted that, and the same plan has approved by your competent authority, that is Director and Principal Secretary UD. For level 2, the 25% work must have completed if the total waste quantity is less than 1 lakh. If the waste quantity is 1 to 2 lakh on your legacy waste dump site, then 20% work must be completed. If the waste quantity is lying in between 2 to 5 lakh tons, then 15% work must have completed at the time of verification. And if your city has more than 5 lakh tons of waste, that at least 10% work has been completed for level 2. So we have categorized here for ease of your applications as well as for ease of your validation, that it is graded approach, that it should not be like if ULB has 5 lakh ton of waste and one ULB has 1 lakh ton of waste, so both have to compete each other for the at the same platform. So for level 3, this is again a graded approach, and the quantum of completed work improved from level to level. And for level 4, the 90% work of remediation has to be completed. Then plastic bin again for level 1, public notification. ULB must have done the public notification for the ban on single-use plastic and less than 75 micron plastic. For level 2, that is 3-star, public notification as well as enforcement of ban. So this is a difference here. For level 3, this notification, ban as well as on a ban on the storage, supply, transportation, and sale and distribution of single-use plastic. And single-use plastic may be defined by state respectively as per the Plastic Waste Management Rules 2021. So this is a graded approach again. And for level 4 and level 3, the approach is same to obtain the 300 marks. For grievance redressal, it's X% of total Swachhta app or local app complaint that cover issues related to solid waste management, that is burning of garbage, open space, debris removal, construction material removal, dustbin not clean, garbage dump, garbage vehicle not arrived, sweeping not done. So these are the some points of complaints we have mentioned here, and those must be resolved within a stipulated time frame. So for level 1, you must have 40%, at least 40% complaints have been resolved. For level 2, 75%, and for level 3, it's 90%, and for level 4, 95% of the complaints must be resolved within the stipulated time frame. So you have to provide the evidence of the redressal of these complaints. User charges, again, this is one of the important aspects and is mandatory as per Solid Waste Management 2016 to achieve the operational and financial viability for your solid waste management operations. So for level 1, that is 1-star, you must have bylaws notified, that is all the standing committees or corporate or urban committees must have notified these charges and enforcement are on place. For level 2, that is 3-star, user charges from the commercial and institutional industrial places must be collected in at least 50% of the total number of these establishments, and at least 25% of the household, the charges must be collected. For level 3, for commercial, institutional, and industries, 80% collection, and for residential, it is 60% collection. For level 4, 90% from commercial, institutional, and industrial establishment, and at least 70% from the household collection. So this is how we define this, what is affordable, what is differential, what is viable and sustainable. For IEC and capacity building, actually. So this is a new component and we make it important as it's a requirement. This IEC is pretty important for engaging citizens, and the capacity building is required for the officials and workers in this sector of solid waste management. So for level 1, at least one initiative, we have mentioned that there are 3 R initiatives, different initiatives like innovative community waste reduction measures such as Batan Bank, Food Bank, Cloth Bank, Exchange Shop, Upcycling. There are number 2. So we have given you 5 options here, 5 initiatives, you can say 5 grades of initiatives. So for level 1, one initiative in parameter 1, either of 1 or 3. Then for level 2, one initiative in parameter 1, then parameter 2, either or there is an option in last 3. Then for level 3, two initiatives in parameter 1,
కాంటూర్ మ్యాప్స్
then parameter 2, parameter 3, and there is an option or you can select any of the parameter in 4 and 5 number. For level 5, for level 4, all parameters including two initiatives in parameter 1. So scientific landfill, we again categorize this into two components. So there are two categories. One is ability of land and the second is the percentage of waste generated to be sent to landfill. So for level 1, it is you must have, the ULB must have identified and acquired the land either in own city or in another city. Another city we mean that if the ULB is smaller and you have planned this sanitary landfill in the cluster basis or the regional planning, whatever you want to say. So then you have to provide evidence that you must give us a evidence that you have identified and acquired the land either your own city or in the neighboring city. And then not more than 45% of the waste, that is including processing reject, is going to sanitary this dump site, actually landfill site. For level 3, that not more than 25% of waste is going to dump site, including processing reject, if any. For level 3, not more than 15%, and for level 4, not more than 10% of the waste going to scientific landfill for disposal. So this is an important topic. There are few cities who said that they are zero landfill. So if any city is saying that he's a zero landfill city, then they must provide as evidence that there is 100% processing of all municipal solid waste and there is no disposal at all. So you have to provide evidence that 100% processing as well as there is no inert and processing rejects going to dump anywhere. So what you are doing with that processing rejects inert, you have to provide as a evidence for that. Then no visible solid waste in water bodies and screening of storm water drains and nalas. So again, we have labels here, no visible solid waste in 100% areas, anti-littering cleanness, that means point number, it covers 2 points actually, no visible solid waste and these water bodies, which is not limited to ponds, lake, tanks, in 100% of area under ULB jurisdiction. And there will be anti-littering cleanliness message along the water bodies through signage, painting, display, hoarding, and hoarding, and no plastic usage. For level 2, it again these two plus no open dumping of waste within the radius of 500 meters. So for level 2, there is a level 1 plus 500, no dumping in 500 meters of water body. For level 3, it's all three of level 2, then sweeping and cleaning arrangement are in place and there should not be any garbage vulnerable points. So GVP should not be there. Then trash cleaners, suitable methods are available. And the final one, which is one of the utmost important, that is no untreated sewage or septic tank discharges going in water body. So for level 3 and level 4, the same are there. And the last one is pretty important, that no untreated sewage and septic tank discharge is going into the water bodies. So now component 14. So no visible solid waste, that is at least 50% nalas should have screen filtered at points of discharge into other nalas water bodies. For level 2, 90%. For level 3, this is 100% and should have screen filters at point of discharge into another nala. Additionally, at a distance of every 1 kilometer in case of secondary nalas. So this definition is there in the protocol, that what is a secondary nala, what is a primary nala. It's as per the CPHO norms. For cities with more than 10 lakh population, automated or mechanical machines on secondary nalas for collection of and cleaning of waste. So this is mandatory for cities having population more than 10 lakh, where the automated or mechanical screening machines are required. And the same is at the level 4, that is 7 for the 7-star cities. So we have defined here what are the primary nalas, what are the secondary nalas, and what are the tertiary nalas. So it will basically depend on the width. Now the CND waste segregation. Earlier we have discussed about the CND waste collection. So now there is a CND waste segregation as component number 15. So for level 1, that is for 1 star, the ULB must segregating 20% of the CND waste generated from the non-bulk waste generator in an earmarked designated facility. So we have what we have observed in last certification drive, that in some of the ULBs there are only they have just put in some waste there and somebody is sitting there and they claim that this is their segregation facility. So please don't do such kind of work, because this certification is not just a certification, it's a cleanliness drive which promotes a healthy competition between the cities as well. So this time you have to earmark the designated facility where your segregation is taking place. And for level 1, you must segregating 20% of the CND waste generated from the non-bulk waste generator. For level 2 or 3 star, it's a 40%. And then again, there must be a civil structure in place within the designated facility. So segregation facility, machine and plants for cities to be in place. Here is a asterisk actually. So facilities without machine will only be considered for the cities with less than 1 lakh population. So we normally consider it that it's almost 10 to 15% of whatever municipal solid waste we are generating. So for cities with less than 1 lakh population, the maximum CND waste generation will be in the range of 5 to 10 tons per day. So for them, it is not required to have mechanized facility of segregation. They can do it manually as well. But for the cities with more than 1 lakh population, you must have some kind of mechanized machinery, maybe a kind of trommel, a kind of crusher, or kind of different tools to segregate the thing, CND waste. For level 3, you must have a 70% segregation. And for level 4, that is 7-star city, the city must doing 90% of the segregation for non-bulk waste CND waste generation. So this is the last component for the important indicator, that is for 1 and 3-star cities. So here in this component, we are asking for geo mapping of waste processing facilities, scientific landfills, dump site, STPs and FSTPs. So for level 1, you must geo map your MRFs, wet waste, whatever. It's mandatory that if any of the facility is not available in the city, you need not to worry about that. Any facility which is coming under the MRF, wet waste processing, dump site, if you have sanitary landfill, if you have waste to energy, if you have, so you have to geomap those facilities. And the same is for level 2. While for level 3, you have to include CND waste processing facilities in this list, as well as FSTP and STP. And the same goes with 7-star city. So these 16 we have covered till time. These are the important parameters. Out of these 16, 4 were the world level parameters and 12 were the city level parameters. These include all the cities aspiring to get 1 and 3-star certification. From 17 onward, these are the aspirational parameters and required only for 5 cities applying for 5 and 7-star level. So the first parameter in this is geo mapping of wards. So for level 1 and 2, these are the aspirational thing. If you want to do, you are most welcome. Otherwise, these parameters are required for 5 and 7-star aspirational cities. So for this geo mapping of 100% of total water bodies and the storm water drains. For level 4, it's the same. So for city beautification, earlier we said it that this is the sustainability, but this is basically this indicator we renamed as city beautification. So we have around 10 parameters under this component. Well-lit public places, footpaths, side roads, city circle well maintained, roads and pavements free from potholes, proper signage, no debris lying there, maintenance of green belt, the incorporation of local art, culture, heritage elements, tourist iconic places to be well lit, no GVT, segregated litter bins. So these are the 10 parameters we have in these categories. And to achieve this 5 and 7-star cities, the level when the passing level is at least 3 parameters. For level 3, you must have met at least 7 parameters, and for level 4, that is 7-star, you must have at least 9 parameters in your city actually. And this, mind you, this is a ward level, so it will be considered at the ward level parameters. Then the on-site waste processing by non-bulk waste generator. So this is basically represent the household composting of wet waste or any kind of waste processing within the non-bulk waste generators. So for 5-star, it's a 7% of the total household, and for 7-star, it's 10% of the total household should practice this on-site waste processing waste processing. And out of this, for 7-star, at least one ward in your city should have 100% on-site waste processing. So, in other words, at least one ward have a zero waste ward within your city jurisdiction. So again, this is a third indicator, which is in the aspirational indicator category, the C&D waste processing and recycling. So for 5-star, the 100% bulk waste generation, 100% processing and recycling or waste generated by bulk waste generators. And for non-bulk waste, it should be 75% of the C&D waste generated. And apart from this, the processing and recycling facility, machinery, plant for cities to be in place. Again, we have mentioned here that cities having population less than 1 lakh need not to have the mechanized plant in their jurisdiction or in their premises. For level 4, again the bulk waste C&D waste generated from bulk generator should have 100% processing, and for non-bulk waste it should be 90% of the C&D waste generated. And for cities having more than 5 lakh population, so they are normally comes under the NCAP cities, so they can put a C&D waste processing facilities within their jurisdiction, and the separate funding is available in SBM 2.0 for these plants. Then again, C&D waste use of material. So for level 5, whatever C&D waste you are processing, please understand this is not with respect to the generation. Whatever C&D waste you are processing, at least 20% you must use within in the non-structural applications, and for level 4 you must use at least 30% in the different non-structural applications. For sale of waste product, so we have actually 3 major streams. One is a wet waste, where you produce compost, you produce biogas. For dry waste, you produce MRF, recyclables, RDF. So in MRF, you produce recyclables, RDF, plastic, different category of plastic. And for C&D, you prepares paver blocks, ready mix concrete, and different products. So for 5-star or level 3, at least 50% of the wet waste processed by you should get some revenue earnings. And for dry waste, it is 60%, while C&D waste, whatever you have generated and processed, 7% of this should be, you must sell out actually. And for level 4, it is 75% for the wet waste, 85% for the dry waste, and 10% of the C&D waste. So processing of sanitary and domestic waste, this is again for the level 3 and 4. So at least 75% processing should be done for sanitary and hazardous waste, and 90% to be done for the 7-star cities. Digital monitoring of SWM operations, including city facilities. So for level 3, all the digital records should be maintained and monitored of door-to-door collection, waste processing facilities, and waste disposal facilities. However, for level 4, It also includes processing facilities of bulk waste generating. So these are the 24 components here, which we have described, and these guidelines are available on the portal as well. So one can download from there as well and have go through once. And if you have need any clarity, we are here to give you a guidance on that. And now we can take some questions as well. Any ULB have any query in the indicators? They want more clarity on this. You can raise your hands if you have any query on this. I once again request all the ULBs that from this year onwards, this DFC is mandatory for all. So please go through the star rating protocols and try to understand these indicators clearly, because you have to participate in this. This is a mandatory certification from this year onwards, and so just go through it properly, understand it, and if you have any query, we are here to give you the solution. We are here to give you more understanding on the indicators as well. So if you don't have any query, we can conclude this. Ravinder sir.
लॉग आउट कर दिया था. I cannot unmute myself.
Hello.
अभी ओके.
Hello.
हेलो
Sir, am I audible?
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
I'm from CDMA Telangana. Hello. Hello, could you hear me? Hello. Could you hear me?
Sir, Himanshu is trying to reconnect, sir. One second. Ravinder, sir, we can hear you. Yes, sir, we can hear you.
I have a doubt in component 1, in the note, you have mentioned that time segregated collection details to be maintained by ULB along with the vehicle and vendor. Details need to be monitored on daily basis and data linked with the SPM portal. So my doubt is, where should we link the data here in the SPM portal? Sir, do you want me to repeat the question?
Yeah, please, if you can, please.
Sir, in component 1, door-to-door collection,
Yeah.
in that slide, there's a box in the bottom note. In that, it is saying that real-time segregated collection details to be maintained by ULB along with vehicle vendors. Details need to be monitored on daily basis and data linked with the SPM portal. So my doubt is, how should we link the data in SPM portal?
This is actually all this monitoring, the GPS tools and all. You must have a centralized authority, a central command center there. So that data will be linked and that link will be provided to you. That portal is the portal is under progress as of now. Will provide you that linkage point for uploading that data or the linkages for the monitoring action.
You recently also got a notification that there's a last day to link the data and all.
No, this portal will be ready by 15th of January, so you need not to worry about that.
Okay.
So we'll give you the proper guidance on how to link.
Superstar and performance alam makeup impress aite
uploaded data uploading.
Request others to please mute your mics.
Sir, I can training assisting for this data uploading.
Yeah, if you have any query on that, if you will face any problem in uploading the data, then definitely we will provide you hand holding.
Okay, sir. Sir, this data should be uploaded on day-to-day basis, monthly.
We'll give you all the details once the portal is ready. We'll give you all the details, and that is not required for level 1 and level 3 cities.
Okay.
So we'll provide you the hand holding support.
I need to understand that pictorial representation once again. I need to grasp more since.
So we will provide you a step-by-step process. Once this portal is up and running, we'll take one more training session and we'll provide you step-by-step as we are providing the legacy with dump site remediation thing. We'll take you the online live training session where how to pull the data on the portal. Right.
Sir, actually, I need to. I did not get the full complete knowledge on this pictorial representation displayed here, sir. So I need another training to once more grasp these problems.
We will send this PPT to all the respective state business directors and ULBs, so you can go through it once. And apart from the SBM portal, again has this others to please mute your mic. You are disturbing privacy of your friends. Please mute yourself.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, बताइए please.
Sir, that pictorial representation I need to concentrate once more. At level 1, level 2 grading, I did not get yet. I need to
You need to go through the protocol guidelines once. The protocol will be uploaded on the SBM portal. You go through it once, then whatever your query, you can discuss one-to-one.
Okay, sir.
Hello, sir. When was it started?
Pardon, come again.
Was the process started? When date which date?
Process will start from 15th of January.
Okay, sir. Okay. 15th.
15th of January.
Okay, sir.
We have a query regarding geotagging.
15-ാം തീയതി തുടങ്ങുന്നതിന് എത്ര മാസം പറഞ്ഞു? But actually, this process will start on 15th of January.
Yeah, this process for phase 1 will start on 15th of January.
Okay, actually, we need to
Can I
upload
add
our details on daily basis.
Sorry, sir, I'm unable to get you.
Actually, we need to upload data on daily basis regarding this.
That we will give you the proper training for that, how you need to upload the data.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. I need that training, sir. I need to.
We will
more
provide
training.
you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Any other query?
వస్తారు లిక్విడ్ వేస్ట్ కదా.
Yeah.
I have a query regarding geotagging.
Yeah, बताइए.
The
Please.
city facility SP Marpan 2.0 and an Android app developed by the ESRI India Technologies Private Limited. It's available in Google Play Store. Where we can not able to log in. It shows we can use the user ID and password to log in for MIS portal. That's Sachitam. But it shows that it is unauthorized user. What is the procedure or any other user ID for login this app, sir?
You put your query on the MIS integrated MIS portal or WhatsApp chat. Will refer your query to the concerned department and give you a solution.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yeah, बताइए.
Hello, sir.
Sir, please बोलिए.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Hello. Hello.
Please speak. Hello. Yeah, बताइए please.
Sir, how many times GFC certification will done in a year?
This is a continuous process. You can say, sir.
If, for example, if 1 ELB is failed in January, it will apply next year.
So 3 months, every 3 months.
Hello, sir. Hello.
It will conducted for every 3 months in a year.
Continuous process. If you feel that you
Sir, can you hear me, sir? Hello.
Hello.
இப்படி வாமா
Sir.
Yes, Sudarsana, you are raising your hand.
Hello?
Please speak and request others to please listen to the queries.
If a ELB is failed in January, it will apply next year or once a next 3 months.
There is two protocols for this. If you have failed in desktop assessment, you can apply with a grace of 1 month. And if you have failed in the field assessment, then it will take you 6 months. And if you want to apply for the higher level of star, you need to have 3 months grace period in between.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
ஃபோன் பண்ணி சொன்னதும் ஐடியா அனுப்பிச்சிட்டாங்க சார். பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் இந்த ஃபங்க்ஷன் அடிக்க இடம் கொடுத்துடக்கூடாது. அதனாலதான்
Hello.
ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைம் எங்க வீட்டு ஃபங்க்ஷனுக்கு பாதுகாப்பு ஏற்பாடு பண்ணியிருக்கோம். உங்க பாதுகாப்பு தான் சார் எங்களுக்கு சின்னதா தப்பு நடக்க விட மாட்டோம்.
Hello. Hello, sir.
हाँ जी बताइए प्लीज.
Sir, we have an issue regarding the GS file support, sir. Portal MS. We have kept
Just to please mute your the CDMA Telangana is speaking. Please mute your mic.
sir, we have issues regarding the GS file support, sir, in the MS portal. We have made a presentation and also we have shared to the support. But we did not get the response for all the issues.
Can you put your this request on any of the portal, MIS integrated portal or any other portals, because it's a lot of disturbance here.
Okay, sir. Sir, is there any email ID so that I can mail it?
Yeah, you can write down my email ID.
Yes, sir, please.
That is @Chaturvedi. I'm writing in the box. You can.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
నా పేరు సాక్షి, జైలర్ కమిషనర్. ఫంక్షన్కి ఆర్థిక 100% ఛార్జెస్.
मटर बनाएंगे. हेलो सर.
Hello, sir.
Okay, we are concluding this meeting. You can send us your queries on the email ID listed in the chat box. Thank you so much for your participation and time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,